Are you guys not tired? Every single day, there is a conversation on social media about who has culture in the diaspora and who does not have culture. We don't have shit collectively. We don't own shit collectively. I'm about to get up, get dressed, to go to a white man grocery store, a white man retail store, and drive my white man car to come back to my white man apartment. We don't have shit! And y'all are arguing about who does and doesn't have culture.
Hey, if I told you that blacks are the real Israelites, would you deny? Simply because they walked a journey for 40 years, a journey that could have taken them 3 days, and simply because of these quarrels, this disunity. And this is the talk that we keep on talking. Let's unite as black people, let's unite as Africans. But we don't get the point. And that's why maybe we are taking longer to get to that point that we want to get to that promised land that we want to see. Now I welcome you once again to this channel. If this is your first time in this channel, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and also share our content. We'll greatly appreciate. In this video, we are going to dive to these quarrels between Africans and all blacks, in general, all blacks. So later on, we are going to come and have a conversation concerning the same. Let's come and make our house in order. Let's watch the video first, and then we can come and have a conversation concerning the same.
Greatest threat to American foreign interests is what? The operational unity of Africans in America and Africans in Africa. This is the government. Our biggest threat is if we let the blacks on that side of the Atlantic Ocean organize.
This is a memo. This is a memo.
Oh, it's a memo. Oh, absolutely. It's internationally. So the CIA is outside of America. FBI is inside of America. If you're a Pan-Africanist like the Honorable Marcus Garvey, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture, you're a Pan-Africanist, you're automatically going to be watched by the FBI domestically and the CIA internationally. And I think the diaspora wars plays right into the hand of America's foreign policy initiatives. There was a security memorandum that came out, I think it was in the late 70s, early 80s, where the U.S. government, in a private security memorandum that has now been published now, said the greatest threat to American foreign interests is what? The operational unity of Africans in America and Africans in Africa. This is the government. Our biggest threat is if we let the blacks on that side of the Atlantic Ocean organize.
This is a memo. This is a memo.
Oh, it's a memo. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I could probably get you the numbers. It's not on the top of my head right now. Absolutely.
Right.
Some people have even published it in books. It's definitely on the internet. People have referred to it. So they basically said, in essence, Pan-Africanism is our only problem. They don't care about nothing else. People pushing religions, people pushing socialism. They don't care about that. Pan-Africanism is the only threat to white supremacy.
So
that's crazy.
So what would you say about, obviously when we talk about the diaspora world, there's a sense of, African people or Caribbean people using the word, well, I'm not black, you know what I mean? I'm Caribbean or I'm African or whatever the case is. And they kind of associate negativity or negative stereotypes with Black Americans per se. And they feel like they don't want to identify as black because black usually is the term that Black Americans call themselves. So I don't want to be identified as black, so I am Caribbean. It's like they're separate people over there. You know what I mean? So what's your thoughts on that whole, that divide and just that whole blatant negative stereotype that some Africans or Caribbeans or other black people feel towards Black Americans?
Well, the white man's original tactic of divide and conquer, separate and rule is still his most cherished weapon against African people. You see, understandably, when people look at America up until now being, quote unquote, the most powerful country in the world, if you want to get down with the most powerful country in the world, you're going to have to despise who they despise. And since America has done such a great job despising African people, anybody who wants to come to this country, even if they are African, are going to seek somebody else's company other than ours, right? That doesn't make what they do right. But we have to look at the fact that we as African people in America haven't done a whole lot collectively to make ourselves the power base we should be for all African people. With our education, with our income, being the richest group of African people in the world in terms of take-home pay, we should be the power base for African people throughout the world. Y'all need institutions, we're going to fund them. Y'all have a problem with your water, we're going to fund that. You understand me? You got a medical crisis, we're going to take care of that. We have the resources, we got the personnel, we got the expertise, we got the money. We should be the power base. So when an African comes to America from outside of this country, they say, well, wait a minute now. If I align myself with the African American, what is in that for me? Because I don't even see the African American doing anything for themselves on a collective basis. We have success, but it's all individual, right? There's very few institutions that we run and control independently. Let's take it to Little League. When you go for the Little League football team or the basketball team, do you go try out for the team that's losing every year? Or do you want to be on the championship team? Most children want to be on the championship team. So when Africans from the diaspora come to America, they see two teams, the black team that has lost 157 straight Super Bowls since the end of slavery, right? And the white team that seem like they still winning and doing great. I want to align myself with the white team. Now, the mistake that is that if you do not link up with us, your national homeland will never be free either. See, what they do to African people anywhere, they do to African people everywhere. So if you come from Nigeria, you come from Ghana, you come from Jamaica, you come from Turks and Caicos, you don't associate with African people, you go get you a snow bunny, move up on the west side, you can do all that. But understand, your life is only as sacred as white people allow it to be. At any minute, they can turn you into a Breonna Taylor, whether you have a U.S. passport or not.
Every few months, y'all start to get a little bit weird on this app and have this little diaspora war between black Americans and the rest of the diaspora. And I think that's weird. I think that's lame. That's the exact plan of the white power structure to separate us, and it's working. And y'all do this every few months, and it's weird. Not liking a specific ethnic group because they come from a different place or was born in a different place. We all came from the same boat. Denigrating somebody else's culture just to justify and make your culture seem more lit. It's corny. That's corny. That's the epitome of corniness, bro. You're a bozo. Black Americans were brought here by force, right? But out of that force, that struggle, we created beauty, jazz, rock and roll, hip hop, streetwear, art, our own way of speaking. We got AAVE, we got Gullah Geechee, we got Tut. It's way more, right? The black culture we built here is mimicked worldwide. And let's be real, a lot of folks in the diaspora came here and thrived because of the foundation that black Americans laid. We fought segregation. We fought for civil rights. We influenced immigration policies that allow more black people to come here in the first place. But that's not talked about, right? But this isn't all about black Americans and what black Americans did. We also helped each other out. The Haitian Revolution didn't just free Haiti. It inspired Nat Turner's rebellion. Marcus Garvey, a Jamaican, sparked the Pan-African movement that later influenced Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam and a pushing for civil rights. This has been a unity thing for forever, right? We've opened doors for each other since the beginning of time. And let's be real, like black people everywhere, they innovate. Whether it's hip hop, whether it's Afro beats, whether it's dance hall, whether it's jazz, whether it's soca, whatever it is, we've been inspiring each other for centuries. So if you pushing division within the diaspora, bro, you're a lame. And I want you to know that you're a lame. And you standing with the same people who've been oppressing us. You a bozo and you just like them. I need you to know that at the heart and to your core, seriously.
So I want to talk about diaspora war. So I'm African, right? Born, my dad and my mom was born in West Africa, Guinea. And I just want to say something. As a person who was born in America and has a family from Guinea, I really, really want us as people, just, in general, black Americans, Africans, Caribbeans, Afro-Latinos to work together and to stay together. We're already being abused and hurt by the system. We don't need to abuse and hurt each other. At the end of the day, we need to love one another and take care of one another and show out for one another. Because at the end of the day, just because I'm African and somebody else is African American, that does not mean that I'm better than them, or that does not mean that they're better than me. It doesn't work like that. We're all black at the end of the day. So whatever emotions or whatever feelings you have towards a group of people, put it to the side and don't let your ego get in the way of your unity with that group. Because at the end of the day, we need Africans, we need African Americans, we need Afro Latinos, we need Caribbeans. We need to all sit together. So yeah, I got this new month.
I don't usually weigh into diaspora wars because I think that they're pointless. But I will say one thing and one thing only, right? I find it alarming just how often Black British people or Black Europeans will start some conflict with Black Americans, and the narrative behind their claim, generally speaking, boils down to how rootless they think Black Americans are in the United States of America. Like that we don't know where we're from, we don't have any culture, and we're about nothing. And it almost feels like 9 times out of 10 that Black British people are trying to open up a primal wound within Black Americans, while knowing full well why we don't identify with our origin countries. You know, you've read a book, hopefully. You know Black American history. And for all this discussion about how Black Americans center white culture because we're Americans and we say we're Americans, the only people shucking and jiving for white audiences and white validation are the Black British people who want to open up that wound for the engagement and enjoyment of white people.
Fuck Black Americans versus Black British versus Black Caribbean versus Black African. All these diaspora wars are pointless. They do not serve anybody because the struggles and the subjugation that we feel because of who we are doesn't even give a shit about any of these denominations. It's a waste of time. And if we look at it from a more logical point of view, there are groups of people that do not like each other or do not get along. And I'm not saying we have to be friends or have to be kumbaya and be all together and love each other. It would help, but it's not necessary, because there's other groups of people that align with each other because they have the same political and economical goals. And I think we're all in agreement that the things that we feel from the mainstream society or from the globe is one that we would like to remove. So it makes sense that instead of arguing, we just find a way to align on those common goals so that we can all benefit. Because if none of us break free, then what's the point?
Let me tell you something. I am a Pan-Africanist, okay? I do not do diaspora wars. Don't bring them over here. I'm not doing this with y'all. Not on this page.
Currently on the Twitter timeline, there is a diaspora war between people from New Orleans and South Africans about Zulu parades and the actual Zulu tribe. Now, I'm not well versed in either enough to speak on it. I just found out about the Zulu parade today. But what I want to offer to this conversation is that white supremacy and racism is so effective that we argue with each other instead of being mad at the actual culprit. The reason behind all the diaspora wars, a couple months ago or weeks ago, it was Trinidad's and Black Americans not knowing about white Trinidad peoples have...
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the diaspora wars are the most chronically online thing ever. Y'all are arguing with bots and thinking that this is real life. Man, Africans love you. Africans love you niggas. I swear Africans love you niggas. Like, I know for like anyone African watching this, I know that some of y'all talk about, you know, the other black kids at school, they would bully me for being African. I hear you on that. But let's be real for a second about black culture. Okay, we call ourselves African American. We're proud of our African heritage. A lot of African American, we adopted shit from African cultures. In Africa, like the fucking people in the fucking African nations, they fucking love black people, dude. They fucking love Beyonce and Chris Brown and shit. They love the music, the art, the clothes. They think we're cool as hell. There is so much mutual love between Africans and African Americans. Y'all are chronically online. Do not let these CIA bots fool you.
Most African Americans don't like to be called Africans. I tried to understand this in some of my studies, and I discovered that a lot of African Americans believe that Africa is a zoo. They believe that Africa is a forest. In other words, there are no houses, no roads, and no buildings in Africa. I don't know where they get this information from. But you see, we are all blacks. And there's no need trying to separate an African from an African American.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I feel this deep in my soul that the speaker laid it out and with clarity and fire that our division is not just unfortunate, it's an intentional one. It's a strategy used to bring us down because it's been used since the first stolen ship stepped the land. Whether we are African American, Caribbean, African, Afro Latinos, or Black European, we're all products of a system designed to fracture us. And while the pain may look different depending on where we are born or how we speak, the source of that pain is the same. The source of that pain is totally the same. We've been targeted by the same power structure, the same white supremacist agenda that drives off our disconnection. And so the divide and conquer playbook is old, but it still works because we haven't fully healed from the lies they fed us. And that's why I'm saying that we might get to the promised land. It might take long to get to that promised land that we desire, because we've let this to keep on dividing us. We've let this fossilized idea to keep on encroaching among us. All these lies and these ideas created a hierarchy within our own family. But the truth is, we've built nations, birthed revolutions, and created the soundtracks of generation and pushed entire industries forward from every corner of this earth. We are brilliant beyond measure, and our unity terrifies the systems that oppress us. And that's why they keep on pushing these narratives, they keep on pushing these ideas, because they know the power of the strength of they know the power and the strength of the unity of Black people. So the speaker's reference to Pan-Africanism is key. The FBI and the CIA didn't fear it for nothing. They never feared it for nothing. They understood that if we've ever decided to unite across borders, if all Africans, if all the Black people in all the parts of this entire world unite, across every border unite, languages and cultures, we will be unstoppable, we will be unbeatable. And they also feared Marcus Garvey, feared Malcolm X, feared Kwame Nkrumah, because they spoke connection of a collective uplift. And let's speak the truth. We've always had the power, we've always had the strength to uplift each other, to raise, to support each other. But these ideas were kept on by the white supremacists. And it has tried to convince us that proximity to whiteness, not unity with each other, is the way to succeed. And that illusion has cost us a lot. It has cost us big time, decades of progress. And my Black people, we've got to stop playing their game. When we fight each other over who has real culture or who contributed more to the struggle, we are playing the role they wrote for us. We are playing the role they wrote for us. We all lost something to colonialism, slavery, and white supremacy, but we all gained something to each other. Black Africans, for example, made immense sacrifices during the civil rights movement that opened doors for immigration and civil liberties across the board. And also Black people in diaspora has also made revolutionary contributions. Our histories are woven together, whether we acknowledge it or not. And so Blacks, it's time we stop needing to be best friends to be united. We don't have to speak the same language or come from the same village to fight for the same future. Our shared struggles means that we should have shared economic and political goals. We need to build institutions that transcend borders, educate each other, invest in each other. If we don't, we'll keep bleeding individually while the world watches and profits off our pain. This unity isn't about idealism. It's about survival, it's about power, and reclaiming what was lost and stolen from us. So let us hold it dearly with all our might. And this is a message I send to brothers and sisters in every part of the world. I see you, I value you, and I need you. We all need each other, not because it's trendy, but it's necessary. The system knows our strength, and that's why it works so hard to keep us apart. But people, we are done being played. The diaspora isn't broken. It's just waiting for us to remember who we are. Let's stop the bickering, stop the self-hate, and start building something worthy of ancestors and our descendants. Unity isn't a dream, it's a revolution. Let's keep on supporting each other. Let's keep on lifting each other. This is the least we can do. I have been your presenter to Rain Shadrach, and if this was your first time in this channel, please consider supporting us by simply subscribing, give us a like, share our content. We will greatly appreciate. I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.